The match that we're going to look at today is a game that I played at a 90% accuracy, one of the most accurate games that I've played as of late, so I thought it would be fun to take a look at it, see why this was such an accurate game, and without further ado, let's jump into it. So obviously starting off with the e4, it just makes sense, and my opponent actually mirrors me for the first few moves, which is totally fine. It's a very common strategy for black players to just mirror whatever white is doing, but after I castle, they decide to break off using the h6 pawn just to, or sorry, the a6 pawn just to give this little escape route here. I imagine the idea is to come and pressure my light bishop. However, when I give myself the little escape route, instead of putting pressure here, he decides to move this pawn up, giving the light bishop some sort of a move. I don't really know what. I don't know why my opponent decided to do this. The best move in this position was d6. So they made the best move in the position, but I don't know why that's the best move in this position as opposed to maybe looking to kick the bishop. You can see it gives me a slight advantage, but from here, bishop to b3 makes a lot of sense. And now there's not a lot of follow-up for my opponent. By the way, this is Tiger Jack, but tiger is spelled tigre. Get a little bit of an accent in the spelling there. Very cool. So instead of pushing the b pawn, my opponent does in fact push the d pawn, which is totally fine. Again, a very even looking game at this point. I decided to move my queen over, giving her a little bit more breathing room, opening the connection to the rooks eventually when I can get my dark bishop out of here. My opponent decides to castle, seems appropriate. I push my pawn up, he pushes his pawn up, giving himself an escape route. I decide to move my rook over. The reason for that is I don't really love the position where my dark bishop can go. Going here isn't great, I'm just gonna lose it. Going here, I'm gonna lose it. And going here, I'm just not completely prepared to have my dark bishop be traded. So I move my rook over to the e-file, he moves his light bishop over, threatening my light bishop, and I just move my bishop back. If he decides to take, I'm just going to take with my a pawn. I'm going to open up my rook's file completely, which is going to feel pretty good if he does decide to infiltrate over there, if he's trying to get the knight on the edge of the board or something weird like that. He moves his queen, connecting his rooks. I connect my rooks. Now I have a battery between my queen and my rook, so if he decides, I mean, this is obviously a good trade before, but this is a better trade now because my queen is going to be protected. If he does something, you know, able to get his queen over here pressuring my queen, at least I'm able to trade with a premium piece and not wreck my pawn structure. That's my thought process, getting the rook over here before pushing the dark bishop to trade bishops here. He doesn't even decide to trade in this position. So in this position, he should, bishop takes b3. So this bishop should take, I should take rook a to e8. So this rook should move over and then my queen should move down. Now this isn't what happens. This is, again, I like to kind of look at what the engine is recommending in some of these best positions. He should have traded the bishop, which makes a lot of sense. A bishop staring at a bishop should typically try to trade. What he did instead was push this b pawn up. He's looking at this, maybe thinking that he's going to be able to influence, you know, my bishop not pushing up, or maybe he's going to be stopping something. I don't really know. I can't get into the mind of my opponent. But instead of taking a bishop or doing any trades, he's just pushing a pawn up. I decide, okay, well, if he's not going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take his bishop. He's going to take with his pawn. And now I have an opportunity to threaten the queen. And if he takes, I get to either take or take. Most likely, if he takes with his light bishop, I'm going to take back with the pawn. If he decides to take, I get to take now. And it's like an absolutely winning position, right? It just is a good trade. I'm taking a lot of his influence off of the board. It felt like if that trade was going to initiate, it was going to be pretty good for me. That's not what happens. After my knight moves over, his knight decides to attack my knight. Now, this is a massive blunder for my opponent. The reason being that this is a massive blunder is my opponent is threatening my queen. He sees me threatening his queen and he thinks I'm going to do the exact same thing. But the order of operations here is very important because when I threaten his queen, this is the next move that I made. I'm just going to move the pieces here so you can see the order of operations. When I move my knight to attack, I put his king into check. So he is forced to move his king. He moves his king to the h8 square. Now I have the opportunity to attack because he had to move his king. He was forced to, but after I put him into check, this means that I am able to take his knight with my knight. When he takes back with the pawn, I am now at a huge advantage compared to where we were prior to that trade. So this chess match started with my opponent mirroring me, trying to get into a very similar position. When we were in another similar position later in the match, he thought he could mirror me again, but because of the order of operations, it is important to pay attention to that. I was worried about taking the queen, thinking, well, he's threatening my queen, but realizing that putting his king into check was going to make it so that I would be able to counterattack, completely remove the threat that was attacking my queen, made it worth doing. And from here, you can see in the evaluation bar, I mean, I'm up by 9 material. I've taken his queen, a bishop, and a knight. It is not looking pretty for our friend Tigre Jack. I take his bishop, he takes the bishop back. I move over here, putting his king and his rook into a fork. When he moves over, I take without question. And my opponent at one point did have a chat. He sent a sad face emoji. I was like, man, I've been there. It happens to all of us. I'm really sorry that it's come to this. But at this point now, I'm just trying to open things up because I've got 2 rooks. I've got a queen. He's got a single rook and a knight. I just want to be trading pieces, trying to either trap him into giving me his rook by taking something he shouldn't take, or by doing this. And I don't know if he misclicked. I don't know if he didn't realize that queens can move diagonally, even if it's one of the only pieces left on the board, but he does forget. He ends up blundering his rook as well. And this pretty much seals the deal. He's going to try and push a pawn over to promote it. He brings his knight out. I put him into check. I take his knight because it was a fork on his knight and his king. And now I am just cleaning up pawns and marching my pawns over to promote. After I put him into check, protecting myself with the other queen, he rushes over, and it's a very basic ladder mate. This was, again, a 90% accurate game. I played almost all of the best moves that I possibly could have. If there's anything in here that you saw in the evaluation bar, in the lines that I could have done differently, let me know if you caught anything. I am very happy with the performance of this game. Obviously, my opponent had to make a few blunders, but being able to take the queen, save my own queen, was a really nice move that I think some players might have been scared of because they would have thought, oh no, he's pressuring my queen, I'm gonna have to move it, I'm gonna have to get out of the way. But if you realize that you can just put your opponent into check, take out the threat, and continue on your merry way, that's a pretty good position to be in a chess match. It's a shorter video today, but I was pretty happy with that move in the mid game. Wanted to show it off because every once in a while I do something kind of smart in a chess match. As much as I like to post videos of me being an idiot and blundering and doing horrible stuff, I do sometimes play okay, and I'm actually improving my blitz rating as well as my rapid rating a lot. My blitz rating is at almost 700, so my blitz and rapid are getting closer to even, which is very exciting. If you enjoyed this video, you learned something, or you had a good time, and this is your first time watching me, definitely subscribe because I upload a new chess video here every single day. If you made it to the end here, you probably enjoyed yourself, so drop a like on the video. It helps me and the channel out immensely. And with that out of the way, I love you. I appreciate you. You're a beautiful human being. Don't forget that, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.